Been there and done that. And now the baddest of the rock gods methodically analyze and dissect musical notes, compositions, and riffs that made them go from the stage to the couch. This is My Favorite Riff. Here's your host, Nikki Sixx.
Nikki Sixx, I'm with Tom Morello, Prophets of Rage, Rage Against the Machine, all-around badass dude, one of my favorite people. I love you on Instagram as well. I love following you.
I have a spirited Instagram.
Yes, you do. So thanks for doing this. We're going to talk about some of your gear. Sure. Some of your favorite riffs.
Sure.
So I guess let's start there.
Fantastic. This is my gear. This is the A rig is still in transit. This is it was out on tour, so this is exactly the same setup that I've used probably since around 1990. Okay. It's identical gear. It's a 50 watt. Marshall JCM 800 2205 channel switching head. And
why 50?
Why 50 was the one that I could afford when I first bought an amp. And I'm like
You talked about that with a guitar to me once.
Yeah.
So
like,
that's all I could afford.
Exactly. I'm like a creature of habit. Like I had a guitar made at a guitar shop in Hollywood that was the worst guitar that anyone's ever played. So through the years I kind of took it apart until I finally got a guitar that I didn't particularly love the sound of. So I bought an amp. All my gear got stolen one time, so I went to Nadine's Music in Hollywood. I bought this head because that's the one they had for sale. Yeah. I worked with that stuff and I never got a tone that I had in my head. So one day I gave up and I said, this is going to be my tone. I'm never going to think about it again. I'm never going to worry about it again. I'm going to worry about writing music with this tone.
Yeah,
and
nice.
So that's this is the tone that I have to this day.
Let's talk about some of your pedals.
Sure. So this is I don't use all these, but there's a Crybaby wah-wah pedal, sort of the traditional Jimi Hendrix one. This is an original Digitech whammy pedal.
What year would that be?
The Whamtech probably like 90.
90.
Yeah. It was 90.
Because they're a lot bigger now, and there's a lot more bells.
They've done it. They've done their best to ruin them in every way they every way they can.
I've heard a lot of people say that, and they don't last.
And they don't last.
That one's still here.
That one, yeah, got it.
That's been through war.
It's been through war. I got a few of these, but I got them back in the day. And the thing that I liked about the whammy pedal was I never was a fan of rack gear, and it always felt like it both diluted the sound, and I didn't want to have to read a manual in order to play rock and roll. So with this, it's a harmonizer in a pedal, and in the early days of Rage Against the Machine, when I was kind of the DJ in the band, it enabled me to make sounds that I heard on Public Enemy records, Dr. Dre records, Crystal Method records, just all in one pedal. And there's two delays just so that I don't have to change in the middle of the show. One's a longer setting for Peter Frampton solos, and the other is for kind of like slapback delay. And then the secret weapon is just this equalizer pedal. It can frankly be any, this is an FX pedal, but it can be any one, and it's really it's set flat and it just goes to a left. It's just up and flat, so it's time to solo, time to play the end of Bullet in the Head. I just hit that thing and the play.
And significant boost?
Yeah, so the one thing I was back in the club days, I never trusted the sound man to know when the guitar solo came. Yeah. So like, I know when it comes, I'm gonna step on that pedal and everybody's gonna hear it.
That's right. I love that. Smart, okay.
Yeah. And then on MXR, the Eddie Van Halen MXR Phase 90, which I don't use, but it's a Van Halen pedal, so I got it.
It gives you something to look at.
Something to look at.
So let's talk about one of your favorite riffs.
Sure. This is a Rage Against the Machine riff off the first record that was the technique that helped me find my own voice on the instrument was using the toggle switch, right? So when I first got an electric guitar, it was in the Eddie Van Halen era where everybody had those guitars with one knob, a volume knob, which was super cool. There's just volume. I didn't have that guitar. I had a guitar with a bunch of knobs and a bunch of pickups, and it was like the uncoolest guitar. So as long as I'm stuck with this kind of guitar, I should see if there's some application. So one day I was in college and I just started messing around with the toggle switch, and with one volume turned to 0, and the other turned to 10, I found if I went between the pickups, I could make something that sounded kind of like a keyboard. This outraged my roommate because he was tired of me playing Grim Reaper riffs as it was, and now I could play like ELO riffs too. And it was like adding to his misery, adding to his daily miseries. He's trying to do his like biochemical studies. And then I started thinking about guitar in a different way because of the toggle switch. And early on in Rage Against the Machine, we were playing a show in the San Fernando Valley, opening for 2 cover bands. And one band had 2 guitar players, one had 1. And those 3 guitar players were awesome shredders, and they had like that liquid kind of Yngwie fingers and Steve Vai technique. And I thought, because I used to practice 8 hours a day, and I was running that race, I was trying to do that. And I thought, if I'm the 4th guitar player at a crappy gig in the Valley on a weeknight, I don't want to run that race. I'm going to try to figure out my own thing. And so I began practicing the eccentricities in my playing, especially the toggle switch, which led to a song called Know Your Enemy on the first Rage record. And it goes something like this.
Okay, let's hear it. Nice. That is how you're supposed
Death to false metal. Yeah. So anyway, that was
F sharp.
F sharp. F sharp. If you want to rock, lean hard on F sharp, children. That's
So when you're doing those,
the toggle switch thing, yeah.
Like how hard do you have to pull off?
Well, that's the toggle switch. I've been doing it for it's the tricky part about doing the toggle switch thing is you actually have to hit the notes right before you play it.
Okay.
So that when you turn the pickup on, it's also set to a fifth, so it gives it that sort of sound.
Yeah.
But so you hit the note right before you play it, so the toggle switch is on the downbeat and the note is already sounding there.
Are you just so used to the toggle?
I don't know about no kill buttons.
Yeah.
I've actually seen some people.
This, so you're like, this is what I started with, and I'm sticking to it.
Exactly. I've seen some other guitar players use the kill button, who are on my nuts, use the kill button, but this just works for me. And the thing is, like, it was a way of reimagining, like my take was always that the electric guitar is a relatively new instrument on the planet.
That's right.
And there's no reason why we should just have to play Chuck Berry riffs or just have to play Led Zeppelin riffs.
Yeah.
It's a piece of wood, it's some wires, and it's got some stuff on it, and those things can also be used to make sounds, textures that can be turned into music.
Up here.
Yeah, they can be turned into music. Yeah.
So. And practicing and learning how to stretch yourself.
Exactly. And then the riff itself was there. You know, there was a local Hollywood band called Liquid Jesus back. I don't know if you remember that. Remember that band?
I do remember that.
My roommate was the guitar player in Liquid Jesus, and they had this great F sharp song, and I was like, I need an F sharp song.
Yeah.
Like, I need an F sharp song. So I took some, like, maybe borrowed 20% of theirs, 20% of the song Frankenstein, and then put the other part.
You can always steal from Edgar Winter.
Edgar, let me tell you.
I mean, come on.
You want an F sharp jam. And think about, like, F sharp, you get the... You get that every time. So
it's that thing, you know. It's like it's the same as like going to A. It just feels natural to go there.
Yeah.
The F sharp. You know, talk to me about like some of your like favorite like soloing sections.
Favorite soloing sections. Well, I mean, here's again, using the stuff that was, I practiced, you know, my favorite guitar player was Randy Rhoads. That was the poster that was on my wall growing up as, when I started playing.
One of the best.
Yeah, I named my firstborn son Rhoads after him. So, and the reason why I was attracted to him as a guitar player was because he felt like he was a musician's musician. You know, like I was attracted to rock and roll and the pageantry, but I wanted to be, like, I didn't feel sort of a kinship with the kind of the drugs and groupies thing. I wanted to be a great musician. My great uncle played in the Chicago Symphony Orchestra for 40 years. Was a violin player. So I thought, like, I aspired to that, but I also want to have leather on too. So that, and Randy Rhoads kind of put that all together. But one of the reasons why he was great was because he found his own voice on the instrument. So it was my turn to find my voice on the instrument. I couldn't be him. You know, I couldn't be Eddie Van Halen. I had to find a way to be me. So working around the toggle switch and trying to use the template of DJs who manipulate sound in a different way, I thought, you know, at the time people were like, rock and roll's dead, DJs are going to make rock and roll obsolete. Well, I thought I might be able to make DJs obsolete.
Love that. Now, do you ever use a slide traditionally?
No, I don't know how to do that.
Well, I'm just like I'm looking at that because I've been like working with some slides.
Yeah.
And you know, I do like go online, it's like YouTube, it's like you know how to learn.
I should probably
And there's the problem. I just learned something right there. I'm going to be at home today. My wife's going to be cooking. What the hell?
Food is all like,
blame it on Tom.
She'll be like my college roommate, like, no, more sonic ruining of my evening.
So when you're going to do anything like ambient sounding,
well, I was like sort of like the one of the things that the digital delay pedal has on it, or the whammy pedal has on it, is the octave up setting. So you can, and so we can combine that with the, with the delay pedal, and you can.
Smooth.
Yeah, and it's both shredding and avant art rock at the same time. Which is really what I'm aiming for.
Art shred.
Art shred.
Hey, what was it like with Springsteen?
Oh my gosh.
Because that just like, I remember like, I ran into you was in Australia.
Yes, yeah. We had you had a Motley Crue show and we were rehearsing in Australia. Yeah.
And then I saw some stuff online. It looked great.
It was.
How do you get that phone?
Well, I mean, I'm not a casual Bruce Springsteen fan. I'm a really I subscribed to magazines about Bruce Springsteen. So, and then we were friends for about 8 years before we ever played together. And then we did a song called "The Ghost of Tom Joad." One of his songs. We electrified it, and that kind of became a thing. And we would play that. And then Steve Van Zandt was working on that TV show.
Was it a Sopranos one? Or?
Not Sopranos, with the one that he did in. What's it called? Lilyhammer. Yeah, Lilyhammer. And so he was going to miss an Australian tour. So Bruce asked me if I'd do it, and I was like,
"Please."
I was like, I'm very excited, but two, it's one thing to play 1 to 4 songs with Bruce Springsteen. It's another to learn 250 songs for a tour, which is what
because he just calls them out, right?
I've never been around anything like it. The E Street Band is the most able to pivot on a dime, because for the U.S. tour we played 34 shows, 182 different songs in 34 shows, and sometimes those songs he'll take requests. Like somebody will have a sign. And the amount of time that I have to learn the song is he'll hold up the sign stage right, hold up the sign stage left, and go 1, 2, 3, and then you're playing the song in a stadium.
Right.
And I'm like, I remember hearing that on the radio in the '80s. I don't know what key it's in, but I hope I'm not in the PA.
And was there train wrecks?
No. I mean, the first couple of shows, there was an acclimation period where I had to really be, but I had like a pretty good stack of cheat sheets and stuff. But even then, I've never really been one that, some people are like human jukebox and they know every bar band and every metal song. I'm not that guy.
I'm not that guy either.
But I found that I could guess the chord changes in a way that I really grew as a musician playing with them.
Yeah,
it's great. And also his commitment to just being excellent at everything it's never phoned in. Every show, dude is 68. He's playing 4-hour shows, and he's the most excited guy to be in that room. It's pretty.
You can see it.
Pretty
That's
inspiring.
Fantastic.
Yeah, pretty inspiring.
That's cool. You got to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much, dude.
Thank you very much.
Anytime, man.
Riff it out.
Come down. Hey, you have a favorite riff from another band? Last thing.
Well, I was gonna I do have favorite riffs, but I would like to play one because my good friend Chris Cornell passed recently.
Yes.
I like to play an Audio Slave riff, which is the first one that we wrote together. This first song, first single from the first record, one of my favorite riffs. And one thing I like about this is we just wanted to do a song that didn't stop. A lot of Rage songs, it's kind of like hip-hop verse, rock and roll chorus, hip-hop verse. And it was like, for the first Audio Slave jam, we just want one where the pedal is down the whole way. It's a song called Cochise.
Such a great one.
There you have it.
I remember learning that on YouTube.
Oh, really?
But I didn't learn it right, so thanks for showing me.
Well, now it's on tape here.
There you go. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.